time, I would like to turn the conference over to Mr. Dave Johnson, UFC 197 conference call.
Thank you, and welcome everyone to today's UFC 197 Jones versus Saint Preux conference call. The event will feature two title fights, including Jon Jones versus Ovince Saint Preux for the interim light heavyweight title, and Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson versus Henry Cejudo for the UFC flyweight title. The event will take place Saturday, April 23rd at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. We're pleased to have participating on the call today with us four fighters from the main and co-main events, including number 1 UFC light heavyweight contender Jon Jones, number 6 UFC light heavyweight contender Ovince Saint Preux, UFC flyweight champion Demetrious Johnson, and number 2 UFC flyweight contender Henry Cejudo. I will now turn things over to the call center to open things up for questions.
Thank you, sir. If you would like to ask a question, please signal by pressing star 1 on your telephone keypad. If you're using a speakerphone, please make sure that your mute function is turned off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Again, that is star 1 to ask a question. We'll go first to Jim Edwards of the Daily Mirror.
Hi, gentlemen. Thanks for your time this evening. John, I just wanted to start off with you. Obviously, we heard from you a few weeks ago that you had hired yourself a personal driver, Lutrition. I just wanted to get a sense from you. How's that been working out for you? How's Lutrition's driving been? And I guess, has it been any inconvenience to you at all?
I just have some restrictions on the time that I can drive. Honestly, after the situation I went through with the police, to know that someone can take my freedom away and make up any allegations they want, whether they're true or not, that's scary. So I don't want to drive right now, at least until I'm off probation. And Lou has been a blessing in disguise. Originally, I brought him in here to make sure my nutrition and health was as tight as it could be, and he's done that. I've been eating really clean for the last 10 weeks, and I really feel better than ever. My weight is pretty low right now. I'm gracefully recovering really fast. Tons of great energy, feels fast and powerful. So he's done a great job over the last 10 weeks keeping my nutrition super tight. And he stepped up as just being a friend and almost like a secretary in some ways. It's just he always has my duffel bag. Always making sure I'm on time to every practice. He's outside honking his horn. 45 minutes before practice. Always making sure I'm hydrated in between rounds. So I have water for me ready to go. Right after practice, he has protein shake or some type of recovery shake. Waiting for me right after practice. And I just feel amazing. So, shout out to Christian. He's phenomenal. I'm excited to watch his brand grow and younger fighters set to, give the program and hire a nutrition guy. Great friend.
Thanks, John. Thanks. Ovince, obviously you've not had a full camp to prepare for this fight. Can I get just a sense from you, how well do you think you're going to be in terms of your preparation when you get in the cage on Saturday night? What are we talking here, 50% good, 75%, upwards of that?
I'm sorry, Lou's over here making faces like, pretending like he's crying and shit. So I couldn't even hear your question. Say it again.
So that question was for Ovince. I said, Ovince, you've not had a full camp for this fight. How well prepared are you going to be when you get in the cage on Saturday night?
I'm really well prepared. I've been training. Pretty much the day I found out about the fight, I haven't took a break yet. I've been training every day, and I think I only had 2 days where I only train like twice a day. Every other day, pretty much all the other days is me training 3 times a day. One of my coaches moved in with me, and he's making sure I'm on time to everything. I have my meals prepared. If I'm not at the gym training, I'm doing some type of treatment. Either I'm doing a hyperbaric chamber, I'm seeing a chiropractor, getting deep. I'm just making sure my body's up to par. So I definitely feel good. I know regardless the way my body performs, I'm definitely going to be 100% plus walking in the cage.
Good stuff. Thank both of you. And Henry, this last question goes to you. Henry, obviously you've won an Olympic gold medal. I just want to know, if you win the title on Saturday night, where do you kind of rank that in terms of your achievements overall in your whole career?
I think it's hard to say until I actually win it. I think it's up there. I think it's up there with the gold medal. But like I tell people, it's like, let's just wait until I win, and then I can answer that for you guys. But as of now, I'm still 8 days away till I compete. So I'm just excited for April 23rd. I'm ready. I'm excited. My weight's under control. I think that was the biggest thing, my recovery, and waking up about 10 pounds over, which never happened. I studied my opponent, and now I'm ready to showcase my talent.
Thanks, Henry. Thank you all. I will see you next week in Vegas.
All right.
And once again, that is *1 to ask a question. We'll go next to Damon Martin of Fox Sports.
Hey guys, question for Jon. Jon, this last year, basically this last year exactly, has been very chaotic for you. How good does it feel to just get back to fighting, to kind of put everything in the legal system, everything else behind you, and just focus on a fight?
It feels great. Yeah, I have had a pretty wild year. But through it all, I've remained unbroken, and I've found different ways to draw strength from the adversity. And being back here fighting, it feels amazing. I'm more sure now than ever that fighting is what I love and it's what I was meant to do. It's when I'm most alive, and it's when I'm, living the way I'm going to go as far as saying, living the way, God intended for me to live. I feel like He's given me this gift, and He wants me to use it, and to have a good message through doing it. I think the message part is what I'm still working on, but I definitely have a gift that I'm blessed with, and now I'm getting ready to use it again, and it feels great. It feels great to be here. Everything feels right.
Obviously, going through everything you've gone through in this last year, again, you've had a lot of speaking engagements. You spent a lot of time speaking to students about everything you've gone through. But as you approach this kind of return to the UFC, are you still looking at yourself as a bit of a role model to other young fighters, to other kids? Is that something you kind of put behind you? I mean, you've had to learn a lot this last year.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, when my story is written and it's all done, that I will be looked at as a role model because of the way that I come out of all this stuff. You know what I mean? My story is far from over, and that's something that I'm very well aware of. Right now I'm in the process of writing a book, and right now I could be at the beginning of the book still. So the little hiccups, they don't define me, and I just know I have a lot of work to do to make sure that the ending is something powerful, something that people can look up to, people can draw strength from in the future. People will be able to say, Jon Jones went through a lot, man. That kid struggled with drugs and partying and fame and money and all these things came at him at such a young age, and he was a little bit of a wild boy, but look at him today. And I just can't wait for that part of the story to start to take place. And I'm not there yet. It's going to take time, but it's coming. Mark my words.
Yeah. Over this last year, Jon, we've seen a lot of the great champions or big names in the sport, face defeat. Ronda Rousey did, obviously Conor McGregor did. You're still standing on top. I mean, how important is this fight to you, to kind of redefine yourself as the top guy? I mean, a lot of people, believe you are the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, maybe the greatest of all time already. I mean, is that something that's important for you to kind of redefine with this fight?
Honestly, I'm very confident who I am in this sport. I know that I've done amazing things in this sport, and at the end of the day, fighting it's a journey that I'm on. And I don't know how to answer that question. I'm not really fighting to prove much to others, I guess. I'm just fighting to prove a lot to myself. You know, I want career longevity, and I want to stay ahead of my division. And I feel as if I've worked on a lot of things to progress. And, you know, my coach, Greg Jackson, always says, Sean, you can't fight the war of yesterday. You got to always have new moves. You got to always have a new style. You got to always do something new to every fight. And so I'm just trying to prove to myself that I have in fact gotten a lot better. And this fight is going to tell me a lot about where I'm at right now. So I feel like I've gotten better since I've been gone, and hopefully we all see that. I'm proving it to myself mainly that I've progressed. That's what I'm fighting for.
Last question, John. Yesterday it was announced that the UFC is going to be going to your home state, New York, in November. I don't want to look past Ovince Saint Preux, but if everything goes well for you at UFC 197, do you hope to main event that first card at Madison Square Garden against Daniel Cormier? Is that something that, you know, maybe is motivation for this fight?
Yeah, I would be honored to main event against Daniel Cormier at Madison Square Garden. The question is, you know, will Daniel Cormier accept that fight? You know, Daniel Cormier, obviously, he's having a lot of mental struggles when it comes to me, and that's just one more thing, you know, that he doesn't need. You know, I'm sure he doesn't want to fight me in my backyard because, you know, he needs all the mental breaks he can get. So who knows? I doubt he'd fight me at Madison Square Garden. But, you know, like I said, I'll fight him wherever. Oklahoma State wrestling room, his living room, wherever.
Thanks, John.
Yep. Thank you.
We'll go to our next question from Sean Ross Sapp from Wrestling Inc.
Hey, John. Previously, you had said that you didn't plan on fighting that late into your 30s, but you earlier said that you wanted career longevity. Has that tune kind of changed for you?
Yeah. You know, things have changed. You know, my main reason for wanting career longevity is because I see that it's possible, and I feel like it's more possible than ever because of the new lifestyle that I'm living. You know, I've been eating clean for about half a year now. You know, and I've been sober, and I just feel better. You know, I'm watching my workouts, and I'm doing things that I couldn't do when I was 23, when I actually won the belt the first time. I'm stronger and like more coordinated. I know my body better. I'm just doing better as an athlete, and I'm starting to think maybe I'm aging well, or maybe I'm becoming a better athlete with age. You see guys like Bernard Hopkins and Floyd Mayweather, and they talk about sobriety, and they talk about, you know, that being a big part in their longevity. And I'm really trying to wrap my head around that and thinking maybe that type of lifestyle is for me. Maybe I can go on to rack up, you know, lots of money, quite frankly, and do this for a long time. Lots of championships, lots of money, and things like that.
Thanks, John. And a question for Demetrious and Henry. The UFC announced that the Ultimate Fighter 24 would result in a title shot for the winner. How do you guys feel about that?
You know, I'm not really focused on that. I'm focused on Henry Cejudo. But that's fantastic. For my memory, I think they canceled the show. But other than that, it is what it is. UFC gets what they want. Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. I think it's kind of funny. There's a lot of people that are up and coming in the flyweight division. I just think it's crazy to bring people in and, you know, winner gets a title shot. There's a bunch of tough 125 pounders that haven't fought Demetrious or myself, and I think it's crazy.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to the show.
And as a reminder, once again, that is *1 to ask a question. We'll go next to Van Tate of KRQE.
Yeah, John, I was wanted to know, since you haven't been in the octagon competitively in a while, if you feel any rust, or I know that environment you're in at Jackson's and Wink, and so you probably don't feel any rust at all, but I'm just curious to know if you feel any rust and if there are any butterflies leading up to this.
Did you ask about rust?
Yes. Do you feel any of that? And do you also have butterflies with your re-entry back into the octagon?
Like rust because it's a new opponent?
No, because, like your time off, from the time off.
Oh, rust, like ring rust.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to say how I'm going to feel on the night of the fight. Even with, in 2012, I fought 4 times that year, beating, 4 former world champions. And I was nervous every single time I backstage and walking to the cage. You always get really nervous. That's when you know that you're ready. One of my favorite quotes is, "There's nothing wrong with having butterflies as long as you can get them to fly in formation." And one thing with me, I've been really fortunate to have a strong mind towards fighting, and no matter what's going on, I'm able to put it all aside and just compete at a really high level consistently. So I don't really know. I don't know if it's going to be ring rust or not. I doubt it because of the way I'm performing in practice. I'm sure once Bruce Buffer say, let's get it on or whatever, or John McCarthy or whoever said, let's get it on, whatever thoughts or storyline behind the fight, they're going to go away pretty fast, and it's going to be about actions and reactions and starting to carry out this game plan.
Could you talk, John? Could you talk also about your hunger? Because I would imagine that you're just starving right now to get going again.
Yeah, I'm definitely really hungry. I feel like getting this belt back will be a big part of getting my life back. The way I've gotten used to it being. I've been a champion since I was 23. The last 5 years of my life has been fighting the toughest dudes in the world. High-level fights, high pressure. People calling me the champ. That was my nickname, and now, now I don't have that. And I want it back. And so yeah, I'm anxious to get this interim championship and then ultimately get my actual championship back. It's a big part of how I identify myself as a person, as a champion. So I want all that for sure.
What do you think you've learned? What has been the biggest lesson in all of this when you were, having some of the struggles and stuff like that, and just trying to stay focused from even those struggles, just trying to make sure you stay on the right path and keep walking forward? What's been one of the biggest lessons from all this?
My biggest lessons is, I guess if I would sum up the way I look at the last few months of my life or whatnot, it's in life you're gonna have ups and downs, and the key to surviving is to know when you're down that that's not who you are. It's a temporary state. It's a temporary situation. And I think a lot of times when we're down, we start to look at ourselves and at this lower self-esteem and this lower version of ourselves, and we start to believe that this is who we actually are. This is the way that our life is. There's a quote that says, having a bad day doesn't mean you have a bad life. So just to always believe in the good values, the good qualities that you have, the good times that you have in your future coming to you. Just believe in the good. Believe in that higher version of yourself. Never forget those quality things about yourself, and continue to move forward. Fight through the adversity, and move forward. And try to do things better, and not find yourself in one of those down moments again. So that's me. I've been through a lot of stuff, but I found myself unbroken by any of it, because I've had many low moments and I've had many high moments. But I believe in the better moments, the finer things, finer self-thought. And so that's it. Move forward through the ups and the downs.
And John, just one more thing: the weightlifting. I know you talked about eating clean and how you feel the difference, how you've been able to do some things that you haven't been able to do. How has the weightlifting helped as far as making you stronger, maybe making your movements more sharp or anything like that?
Yeah, I lost a ton of muscle. I was 240 at one point just a few months ago, lifting all types of crazy weight. And now I'm about 218. And still great. I feel a lot like the athlete I was before. I think I punch harder and a little more explosive. Before I would be hesitant about shooting on heavyweights because I would think, oh man, if I don't finish this shot, he's going to front headlock me and he's going to tire me out. Now I just shoot under people because of, I have the power to finish my shot on pretty much everyone. So I'm just a lot more confident. I'm more confident in my ability to muscle certain things. Well, before, everything had to be about timing. Everything had to be about finesse. And I still have the timing and the finesse, but now I have a little bit of strength to back some things up. So it's enhanced my confidence.
We'll go next to Matthew Wells of MMALadiesNews.com.
Hi there. Thank you for the time today. John, so Daniel Cormier has said that he needs a win over you to kind of validate his career at this point. I'm curious, what's the equivalent of that for you? What do you need for your career at this point?
The only thing I need to do is do the right things outside of the octagon. I could never fight again and be put in the Hall of Fame, and I'm not saying that to sound arrogant, but we all know it's true. I just need to do the right things outside of the octagon. That's it. Me retiring and nobody hearing about me in the news ever again, that's a huge victory for me, and I'm going to try my hardest to make sure that happens. Outside of that, when it comes to actually fighting, I don't really feel like I have much to prove to anybody. I've done some pretty amazing things in the sport, and, fighting is a journey. You have your ups and downs, you have your wins, your losses. Fortunately, I've never lost. But, wins and losses at this point in my life doesn't really define who I am. I think I'm a champion for the rest of my life. What's going to define who I am is how I get my life is under control outside of fighting.
Awesome, thank you. And this question is for Ovince. You've been in the cage 3 times since John was last in the cage in January of 2015. Do you think being more active is going to give you any type of advantage in the fight next week?
It might give me a little bit of advantage, but at this time, it's just the proper preparation and stuff. And I think I prepare correct with the fights and stuff. So got a good camp behind me. The past 2 weeks have been really, really strenuous, but it was 2 weeks that I sacrificed a lot of my life in order to make things happen. So I might have a slight advantage, but it really doesn't matter.
Very cool, and thank you. And my last question is for Demetrious. You found out about the tough news about the winner facing you while you were playing on Twitch. Is that the strangest way you've received that kind of news before from the UFC? Or UFC news, rather?
Yeah, first off, it was Errol Wine who broke the news to me. I was driving over training, and he said, tough question mark. And I was like, go on. And he was like, oh, well, you've never heard about tough? I was like, no. And then I was on my stream of Twitch, and then people were like, yo, dude, you hear about tough? I was like, no, dude, I want to check the fucking internet. There's something on there for me. And sure enough, they basically broke down the whole logistics to me. And I was like, well, that's very interesting. And so basically, my whole response live on Twitch was basically how I got broke the news. And I think it goes for all the fighters in the UFC, That's sometimes how the fans find out before we do, and the fans get to us before the UFC can. And the UFC's got a lot of fighters under their contract that they got to make sure they're taken care of. So, it happens, but did about one bit and kept it real and gave my honest opinion about it.
Very cool. Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys next week.
We'll go next to Achilles G of Sportskeeda.
Hey, guys. Greetings from India. Firstly, John, this was expected to be one of the greatest rematches of all time with DC. Hello, John? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so this was expected to be one of the greatest rematches of all time with DC. However, you now have a new and dangerous opponent in OSP. So can you tell us what went through your mind the moment you heard DC was out of fight at 197?
Initially I was a little upset because I felt as if trying to get my belt back was going to be in a few days from now. So I was a little upset, but I'm the type of guy who I try to pick situations and I try to find the good in them, and I try to look at things as signs and messages. And I thought, maybe I needed to fight someone else. Maybe I needed to fight, Ovince beforehand. I definitely am not looking at him as a warm-up fight. That would be set out. It would be foolish to call a guy with Ovince's abilities a warm-up fight. This guy he's had some really tremendous highlights throughout his career. So I know what he's capable of. So I don't look at this as a warm-up fight, but maybe I wasn't meant to fight DC right. Everything was about time. And so maybe timing works out great. Not be fighting him right now.
All right, great. Now you've been away from the octagon for over a year. Now, do you think that would have any effect on your performance? And also, this is the kind of fight in which you have everything to lose. While you've been there and done that before, after the tumultuous year you've had, do you think it puts extra pressure on you to win?
I could barely understand just now. I think there's something about whether a year off is going to hurt me. Is that what you're asking me?
Right. So after the year off, do you think that would have any effect on your performance? And also, this is the kind of fight in which you have everything to lose. Now, while you've been there and done that before, after the tumultuous year you've had, do you think it puts extra pressure on you to win?
No, I don't feel as if I have everything to lose. Every fight that anyone has, they have everything to lose. I mean, your next fight is always your biggest fight. So I don't necessarily feel like I have everything to lose. And as far as the year off, life is about perspective. And the way I'm looking at my year off is I look at it as a blessing. I got everything taken away from me. I got my endorsements taken away from me. I got my championship taken away from me. I lost respect. I lost so much. And now I feel like a guy who needs to gain so much, but already has so much knowledge. And I feel like I feel rejuvenated. I'll say, I feel hungry again, and so I'm looking at this year off as a great thing.
All right, great. Now, you talking about being hungrier. So how important has the support from the fans all over the world been for you during your journey? And you received overwhelming support. Did that make you hungrier to give back to your fans?
Yeah, the fan support means so much to me. I have really, really strong supporters, and I definitely haven't always been an athlete to make it easy to support. I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of, but I think people see the good in me, and they believe in that, and they stand by me. And I'm just so grateful for all my fans. I love them all so much. They motivate me to be better and to try to improve on my character. And I'm just very grateful for everyone, sincerely.
All right, outstanding. Now, Ovince, I have a couple of questions for you. While everyone is aware of your dangerous stand-up game, do you think that Jones grappling could be the biggest concern you'd have during your fight?
It's definitely the biggest concern. It's always been the biggest concern for everybody. Jones Springer really good at playing distance, and like you said, he got pretty much the perfect timing for everything. And just, it's one of them things where for me personally, I'm just going to give everything I got, kind of leave everything in the cage. At times I felt like, I was holding back in different situations, and this particular time I can't. His grappling definitely has been a big issue of his former opponents and stuff. So that's something I'm definitely taking into consideration.
All right. Now, also, SP, this fight gives you the opportunity to make a huge statement. The last time a fighter took up a high-profile fight on short notice, Nate Diaz put Conor away. So do you think this is your opportunity to do the same?
The opportunity, that's the thing about it. Opportunity. Anything can happen in any given opportunity. So I had an opportunity. The fight was offered to me, and I took it. And, that's the thing I'm going to do, make the best out of the opportunity. I'm not worried about what anybody else did in the past. What Diaz did to Conor. Okay, but, Conor went up 2 weight classes. So, but at the end of the day, it's just like I've been given the opportunity, and I'm going to make the best of the situation.
All right, great. Now, Mighty Mouse has a few questions for you as well. You and Jon are pound for pound 1 and 2, while it is still debatable who is 1 and 2. Now, fighting on the same card, do you think that would give both of you the extra motivation to maybe put an exclamation mark to those claims? Or do you not even think about it walking into the octagon?
Yeah, that's something I don't think about walking the octagon. This isn't the first time I've ever shared the spotlight with Jon Jones, one of the greatest. We fight at UFC 152 when he defended his belt against Vitor Belfort, and I won the belt against Joseph Benavidez. So for me, I'm just going out there to take care of business, and I think it's a treat to the fans that they get to see number 1 and number 2 compete in the same night again.
All right, outstanding. Now also, Mighty Mouse, all anyone seems to talk about now is how you've almost cleaned up the division. Now, considering you walked out of 197 with the title, where do you see yourself going from here?
Like I always do. Being another consecutive title defense, going home, get back in the gym, and keep on getting better and take care of the family. I never attach the outcome of my fights, whether I win or lose. I just keep on chugging away. So we'll see what UFC has in line for me next, and then go from there.
All right, great. Now, Henry, one last question for you. Your credentials speak for themselves. Now, when you look at DJ, who hasn't lost in the past 4 years, what's going on in your head about how to get the better of DJ? And DJ has been one of, if not the most well-rounded fighter in the world. How do you prepare mentally for someone like Mighty Mouse?
You study. Everybody has strengths. Everybody has bad habits, and you study both of them. I've learned, and I've always been like this ever since I was a kid. I've always studied my opponents, and I think he's somebody that you do study, and I recognize patterns. And again, man, he's fighting a different. He's fighting an athlete. He's fighting somebody that probably doesn't have the MMA experience as a lot of people give me credit for, but somebody that's a gamer and that has this competitive edge. I believe so, and he's a competitor, man. He is well-rounded, and I'll say it again, that he mixes it a little bit better than what I do. But I think the basis that I have will neutralize the fight, and obviously I'm not giving my game plan away, but I am ready, and I know Demetrious will fight a certain style. I know he has different ways to fight. He may pressure, he may try to create his space, and I'm ready for both. So studying the man, recognizing the patterns, and going out there focused and isolate our game plan and adjust.
All right. Thank you once again, guys, and all the very best for the upcoming fights.
Thank you.
And once again, as a reminder, that is *1 to ask a question. We'll go next to Travis Brown of MMA Wreckage. Mr. Brown, go ahead. Your line is open, sir.
Okay, thank you, guys. I just have one quick question for DJ. DJ, do you feel, as mentioned earlier, with being on another card with Jon Jones, do you feel that these are the types of cards that you need to consistently stay on so that we can finally get out of this realm of not paying attention to start? Did you hear me?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah, I was just asking if you feel like you need to stay on cards like this to kind of keep pushing the envelope on letting people know how talented of a fighter you are, and then how talented your division is, and keeping more of a focus on the flyweight. Do you need to stay on cards like this with these headliners like Jon Jones, or do you feel we'll get to the point where we can go back to having you being the main card holder and being the main focus on the events? Thanks.
Absolutely. I think a little bit of both. You know, whether it's me behind Jon Jones. I mean, anybody who has a big name or any flyweight being on the same card as Jon Jones on the main card is going to be great for the flyweight to get the eyes on him. And, you know, me headlining a pay-per-view or a Fox card, I mean, the Fox card is amazing. And I think any way that we can get flyweights on, you know, the main card would be better. You know, with John Dodson fighting this weekend on Fight Pass, I'm shocked about that. You know, John Dodson is an amazing fighter, and I believe that man should be on the main card, display the talent he brings, you know, as a smaller guy, even though he's back at bantamweight. You know, it just shows how skillful he is. You know, he fought at flyweight, now he's going to bantamweight to continue to tear there or whatever.
Okay, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
We'll go next to Sal Mora of salmora.com.
John, I wanted to know from you, as you're getting closer to fight night and the weight's coming up, how has the weightlifting played into how you're feeling now?
How has what?
How you feel with the weight coming off after having done so much of the powerlifting in the recent months?
Oh, I feel great. I've had a nutritionist with me for the last 10 weeks. We've been together, but I haven't really had a cheat meal in a long time. And right now, I feel really, really good, really good. Like I said, right now I weigh 218. I usually show up to fight week at 25. So right now I'm definitely ahead of schedule. You know, a lot of people said, you know, powerlifting is going to make John have a bad weight cut, and then I heard a lot of people say powerlifting is going to mess with John's flexibility, and then I heard people say powerlifting is going to mess with his cardio. So me knowing what the assumption was, I made it a point to really attack those things. So right now I'm ahead of the game in my weight cut. My cardio, I believe, is better than it's ever been. And in my flexibility, I mean, I'm doing everything I was doing before. So yeah.
And then a lot of people have speculated about the possibility of you moving up to heavyweight. So just that, but had you ever thought of, with Ovince being a short-notice replacement, had you thought about fighting him before?
Have I ever thought about fighting Ovince before?
Yeah, had a matchup with him ever crossed your mind before?
No. I think I met Ovince at the stage a few years ago. Outside of that, I honestly had never seen him fight once. Not even a highlight video. Not anything. So when the fight got announced, I totally flipped the switch, and I've been researching Ovince nonstop, and I feel like I know the guy, even though I've never really, had a conversation with him. I've watched all of his past fights. I've watched almost every interview I could find on him. I know things about his background. I know pretty much everything about him through that I could find on the internet. So I feel pretty comfortable with him as an opponent now, and I've caught up to knowing things about him.
And then for Ovince, kind of the same question. How long, with John having been at the top of the division, had you thought about fighting him for?
I mean, it's one of them things. Every time you see the champ fight, you want the same opportunity too. You know, at one point in time, he was where I was at, and he had an opportunity and made the best out of the opportunity. So, with me, I've been watching him for a while. So, it's just one of them things that, like I said, I'm excited.
And then coming in with the underdog label, obviously, and having fought so many champions, how do you feel heading into such a big moment, headlining a pay-per-view?
Cool, calm, collected. That's the only way I've been feeling. A lot of times people be thinking, what's coming up. When you fight, a lot of it has to do with your physical attributes and stuff, but a lot of it comes into mental preparation too. So right now I'm just cool, calm, collected.
Thank you for that. And then for the flyweights, for Demetrious and for Henry, how overlooked do you guys feel with John and Daniel having stolen so much of the headlines at the beginning of the hype-up, and then the injury now giving OSP so much light? Do you guys feel overlooked in the co-main event role?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't feel that way at all. I mean, injuries happen, then you're pouring out. You know, they get surgery. It's part of the sport. Injuries are always going to happen. So nothing's changed for me, whether people are overlooking this or just excited for the OSP and Jon Jones fight. It changed nothing for me.
Yeah, same thing for me. I think. I would have loved to have been with my, with my former teammate. I think it was a good card, just for like the whole wrestling community. I was looking forward to that, but I think Jon Jones. I think his name alone brings a lot of brings a lot of eyes. Obviously, he's been gone for over a year, and I think people are excited to see him fight and see him fight Saint Preux. So it's going to be we're especially at flyweight, we can't complain. We haven't got maybe the most attention like the other divisions, but I think having somebody like Jon Jones headline a card and us being the co-main event is it's a big deal for us.
Thank you guys for those answers. That was all for me.
At this time, we have no further questions.
We got you tied in there.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That does conclude our conference for today. We thank you for your participation. You may now disconnect.
All right, appreciate it.
Right, I'd like to thank everyone for participating today. And just a reminder for next week's schedule that we do have open workout scheduled for 12:30 p.m. next Wednesday, April 20th at MGM Grand Garden Casino floor, adjacent to Tap Sports Bar. We will also have the UFC 197 Ultimate Media Day on Thursday, April 21st at 12:30 p.m. in Studios A and B at MGM Grand. UFC 197 weigh-ins are going to take place next Friday, April 22nd at 4 p.m. in the MGM Grand Garden Arena, and the first bout of the night for UFC 197 will take place at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time, Saturday, April 23rd at MGM Grand Garden Arena as well. Would like to thank all the participants and media who joined in the call and look forward to seeing everybody next week.
Appreciate it, Dave.